Hello, everyone. I am your host, Adam.
And I am your other host, Cage.
And welcome, a very warm welcome, to a very special episode of Basically Wizards, the premier podcast for everything about the wizardry of video games. We are going to talk today. Today's a very fun episode. We're going to talk today about our pitches for the future of various Nintendo series. So if you've ever had a dream of where you want a series to go in the future, or a dead series that you want to see revived, today we're kind of going over our high-in-the-sky dreams of what, if we had all the power, what we would do with these series. And feel free to make fun of us if you think our pitches are bad, and feel free to give us a pat on the back if you think that our pitches are epic and that Nintendo should hire us.
Of course, but remember, the one that you should make the most fun of is Miyamoto for not implementing these ideas.
That's so true.
He is the one with the power in his hands.
I know, and I'm just saying, we're giving them all these great ideas for free, so they'd be fools not to give our podcast a listen and start implementing some of these ideas. Maybe pay us like 0.5% royalties if you use our idea. That's all we ask. We are very.
That'd be a lot of money, even honestly.
I know. I was gonna say like 5%. I was like, that'd be like millions of dollars.
Yeah, 0.5 doesn't sound like that much, but when we're talking Nintendo, that's like at least a good couple 100,000, I'd imagine.
Definitely.
Especially after the Mario movie, they're doing pretty well right now.
I would say so. Yeah, this is kind of Nintendo's hitting their stride. We did want to point out also, we're recording this a day before the Nintendo Direct that just got announced. So there's a possibility that we'll say something here today that will come true tomorrow. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yep, and to clarify, it is June 20th, 2023. So that is the Direct we're referring to. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Will it be the craziest Direct of all time? Is it going to be just unhinged? They're going to announce the Switch 4? That's what I'm thinking.
The Switch 4?
Switch 4.
Dang, we've jumped ahead. They're starting to follow Xbox in naming conventions.
Yeah. Geez, I don't know why I said that. Yeah, you know what? I can justify this, actually. Switch Lite was Switch 2. Mm-hmm. OLED was Switch 3.
That's true.
So now we're getting Switch 4.
That is true. So Technically speaking,
I knew what I was talking about.
I
wasn't making
Switch.
a mistake.
Yeah. But yeah, I personally am not sure if that's going to happen. My personal prediction is that we're probably going to get like all the announcements up until the next console release, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of bracing for a less exciting Direct, but hopefully they'll prove me wrong on that.
I could see at least like a very subtle hint. Like, imagine how amazing it would be if like you go through the whole Direct. It's kind of not too much. Like, they talk about Pikmin 4, obviously, announce like the new Mario Kart DLC. Maybe talk about some other little last stragglers they're putting on there. Then at the end, they drop a Metroid Prime 4 trailer. And at the end of that trailer, they say, available on Nintendo Switch 4.
Nintendo Switch 4.
They're
calling it that just because the only game that will be on it at launch is Metroid Prime 4.
Metroid Prime 4.
It makes sense. It's all coming together.
Yep. But that'd be the way to do it. Yeah. Just do it at the end. Also, calling it right now, Metroid Prime 2 Remastered, Shadow Drop tomorrow. It's going to be awesome.
2 and
Elden
3.
Ring's going to have to take a little break.
Okay, yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, if stuff gets too wild, it might derail your Elden Ring exploration, so yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, I think that's enough of a preamble. Let's just hop right into it, because we've got 5 pitches each, and then there will be a bonus round where we'll give each other a random one, and we'll have to come up with one on the spot. So we've got a lot of ground to cover. I'm thinking we start with you, Cage, because you're starting with Mario. So that seems like the place that would make the most sense to start. So yeah, go ahead and give me your first pitch.
Okay, so for Mario, we didn't specify which Mario series I would be talking about. So what I did is I'm gonna do a Super Mario Rapid Fire.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm gonna just super quickly talk about what each Mario series that came to mind at the time of writing this anyway should do, because there's like a bazillion.
That's true.
Mario
I mean, I guess
series.
we didn't specify. I kind of had in mind just like 3D Mario. I mean, you know, it's just the future of Mario. So
yeah, I got the idea there, but
definitely.
I did this just for fun.
Okay, let's hear it.
There, so.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so Mario Kart. First of all, keep adding tracks. Obviously, keep giving us more DLC. Maybe even give us another pack of DLC after this one ends.
Gosh, I hope not.
And then I hope so.
Okay.
I think that'd be cool.
I need Mario Kart 9.
However,
I don't need more tracks for
make
8.
it. Yeah, but it'll be. Okay, yeah, that's fair. But
no, go ahead. Sorry, I won't interject anymore until you finish your pitch. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, but additionally, they will add a new mode to Mario Kart, known as Infinite CC.
Okay.
Instead of 200 CC, it's Infinite CC.
Okay.
And here's how this works: you can just keep accelerating infinitely, which some racing games do stuff kind of similar to, like Forza. You can just keep getting faster and faster and faster. But the idea is you can keep accelerating for as long as you can not crash into stuff, you know. So you'll still have to slow down for the turns and stuff, but I feel like you could get some really crazy speedrunning stuff going on with that, like just infinite acceleration, except for obviously if you drive like on terrain and stuff, it'll kind of have a cap as to how fast you can drive, but on the road you can just keep going as long as you're going straight. So
it would be fun.
There we go.
I would not be opposed to that.
Yeah. Okay, so Mario Party. Obviously Mario Party's getting a little stale at this point, but what I think would be cool is, so Mario Party revolves around your basic board game where you just like walk around the spaces and then you play mini games in between. What if they introduce some other tabletop games? Like, for example, imagine if you were doing like a Monopoly round where in between turns you would do like some mini games that would give you like extra cash or whatever. Or what if they introduce some other games like chess, or, you know, there's any number of tabletop games. But I think instead of having the basis of the game being the, you know, your regular Candyland, whatever, walk around the spaces, based on some other games, that could be kind of just a cool way to kind of mix it up, break the ice.
Yeah, no, so, I could see that.
Yeah. And then Paper Mario. Origami King was a great action-adventure / puzzle exploration game that was bogged down by a dull battle system. If Nintendo doesn't want Paper Mario to be an RPG anymore, don't make it be one. Like, I think, personally, that Origami King would have been a great game if there just wasn't a battle system at all.
Right.
Which is kind of wild, because that was kind of Paper Mario's thing, and more than anything, I wish that they would just bring back the old battle system, obviously, like anybody else. Yeah. But if they're not going to do that, then, you know what? If you don't want it to be an RPG anymore, don't make it an RPG. Because, I mean, I thought that the puzzle and exploration element of Origami King was excellent. So if that's the direction you want to go, then just lean into it. Don't sit on the fence. That's what's causing these games to not be great.
Right. Yeah,
so
makes sense.
All right, Mario sports games. Try making a good one. Anyways, Mario Maker.
Bring back Mario Strikers Charged, which is the best one. I'm so sad that the new Mario Strikers game was kind of underwhelming, because Charged is absolutely my favorite of the Mario sports games. I don't know. They're all fine, but yeah, I agree. Yeah. They're all just kind of like, they all just need a little more. You know, they're all mechanically sound, but they're all very like bare bones as far as like how much content there is. So, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all I had in my notes for that one, is just make a good one.
Make a good one. I'm on board with that. Make a good one. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right, Mario Maker. What's that empty slot about? What's going on? Like, on the game modes, you have like your 4 modes, like Mario 3 World and everything, but then you've got Super Mario 3D World with this big, glaring empty spot. Where's Mario Odyssey mode? Where's Mario Galaxy mode? We don't even need a whole new Mario Maker game, although that would be great. Yeah. Just give us that mode. Where is it, Nintendo?
I don't know.
And don't make it DLC. Don't, please, no more DLC. I don't want to keep buying DLC. Just put it in there, please.
Yep, that makes sense. I think it's a little too late for that, but You know, it's your dream pitch, so I can't. We're not rating based on accuracy, really. So
yeah, not on realism. All right, then new Super Mario Bros. Also getting a little stale.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of great 2D platformers out there that are proving that 2D platformers is absolutely not an irrelevant thing. You know, you can still have level-based 2D platformers and have them be really fun. Like this new Sonic Superstars that's coming out looks amazing.
It looks really good.
So
yeah,
I think just give us more unique atmospheres and level variety instead of the same places we're always going. Give us more gimmicks and puzzles, almost kind of like Kirby games have, and then also give us, you know, some kind of big open-ended levels, almost like Sonic games, where there's like multiple different directions and paths you can take to the goal. But also give us some kind of tight levels. I would love to see a new Super Mario Bros. Game that, you know, takes inspiration from all of these Kaizo games and actually gives us something really tight. I think that if there was a full-on new Super Mario Bros. Game like that, that could actually be fun. Yeah, so they need to tighten up the controls and make them so that it's less floaty, because, I don't know, the 3D Mario games, Mario's, you know, seems pretty grounded for the most part, but like in the new Super Mario Bros. Game, he feels like really light and weird. There's no like acceleration of gravity. He just kind of like falls at a constant speed. And,
I never understood that. I don't know, like even the old 2D Mario games are like pretty tight feeling as far as the controls, but like maybe it was something to do with like the multiplayer emphasis, just making it a little more loose. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm with you. That the engine that they're using absolutely needs to be pretty much rehauled.
Yep. There's another thing right there. The next new Super Mario Bros. Game, maybe this is a spicy take, but I think they should just kind of drop the multiplayer thing. At least drop making the whole game emphasized on it. Because like there are so many multiplayer Mario games out there already. You know, like your Mario Party, your Mario Kart. Like, with our 2D Mario, just, you know, make it like the Donkey Kong Country games. You know, make it single-player based, but, you know, add in a multiplayer element. And if it's hard as can be, well, cool.
Yep. No.
You know?
Yeah, I'm with you. Just, I feel like when they bend like the level design around making it multiplayer, kind of just makes it worse for everyone, even if you are doing multiplayer. I feel like Kirby and the Forgotten Land did a good job about that, where it's like there is multiplayer, but it feels like very much like a single player experience. But I played the whole thing multiplayer with my brother, and we both loved it. So
yep, and I'm replaying that game right now, actually, in single player, and yeah, it works great single player too. So, yep. All right, last but not least, obviously the mainline Mario games. What do we do next with those?
Yep.
I say give us Super Mario Odyssey Galaxy.
Okay.
And here's the idea: you take kind of the base gameplay idea of Super Mario Odyssey, and by that I mean like your kind of bigger sandbox levels where instead of being interrupted each time you get a moon and brought back to like a home base, like you kind of just continually get them and keep going. Like I thought that was good with Mario Odyssey. Still with some little more linear challenge rooms and stuff. I think those are great. You know, still keep the capture mechanic. I think that's really cool. However, where the Galaxy comes in is you make it the Super Mario Galaxy atmosphere. Like the whole thing is space themed. You bring back the gravity mechanic, and the big sandbox levels will just be giant galaxies comprised of tons of these planets. And you can, you know, use your launch stars to travel back and forth between them and stuff. You know, it's not like when you take a launch star, you're just stuck on that planet. You can like go back and forth and all around, and some planets you can only get to from using certain launch stars. And yeah, so it kind of takes the base gameplay idea of Mario Odyssey. Maybe there's only like 15 galaxies this time, but they're just like really big galaxies that you can like zip all around and go to the power moons and stuff.
Cool.
And yeah, I think that could be really cool. I don't know if the Switch hardware would be capable of running something big like
I'm
that.
Sure
but
would be.
Maybe it could.
Yeah, I mean, Tears of the Kingdom is massive, and I mean it's not perfect, but yeah, they could make that happen for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so there we go. That's my Mario Rapid Fire. That might have been a little bit longer than my other pitches.
Okay.
But
we start big.
There
we
you
start
go.
big. You know, you can't go small with Mario. So yeah. Hey,
Yep.
overall, I'm with you. I like the idea. I hadn't really considered that with 3D Mario, like kind of fusing my favorite, Mario game style with the old one.
Yeah.
I feel like it could work, definitely.
Yeah.
Do I think it's likely? Maybe not, but honestly, at this point,
Yeah.
I have no clue what they're gonna do with Mario. I have like not.
That is true.
I have no guess at all because Odyssey 2 would be the obvious thing. There was a lot to work on there, but yeah, after all this time, I feel like they've got to be working on something more than just like a kind of unambitious but still really fun sequel. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
There's gotta be something pretty big coming. So.
Oh, I feel like it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that wraps up our Mario segment. Let's move on to my first pitch of the night. So I'm going to be discussing the future of The Legend of Zelda. So I just focused on basically just like what the next game should look like. I mean, this one's tough because we just got the new Zelda. So the next Zelda is probably way out there. So I'm not gonna really discuss like it's likely that Tears of the Kingdom will get DLC, kind of like Breath of the Wild did. But I'm not really interested in discussing that. So I'm just gonna go right into whatever the next mainline 3D Zelda is gonna be. So yeah,
cool.
So my idea is that first of all, the series kind of needs to move on from the Breath of the Wild world, in my opinion. I think it's been fun, but 2 games in this world is more than any other Zelda world has gotten, and I think the world has definitely been explored to its fullest. So I'm thinking that the next world is going to be kind of a return to, and Cage is probably going to laugh when I say this, a return to kind of like a Wind Waker-esque world, because I feel that Wind Waker's setting really could lend itself to a really interesting experience if they take the open world nature of the current Zelda series and bring it back to that world. For the next game, I want it to remain open world, but I want it to have that Wind Waker aesthetic. I don't want like it to be like Toon Link or that, but I want it to have its own look and its own identity. That kind of would be a fusion of Link's modern look and the Wind Waker look. I want to keep a lot of Tears of the Kingdom's like crafting mechanics and creation. But put that towards like one idea I had is like you would have a ship, kind of you had King of Red Lions and Wind Waker, but this time you'll have a ship that's like a ship that you build yourself and you customize and you get upgrades. Eventually you're on the surface at first of the water, you're exploring all these different islands. Eventually you upgrade it so you can go underwater as well as like a submarine type thing. But yeah, you just continue to like craft your own ship and mount weapons on it and stuff like that. So that I feel like would be just a really cool idea for exploration in an open world, with the main traversal method being through the ocean. And the other idea that I had is like you would gain like a crew along with it. I really liked the partner system in Tears of the Kingdom. So I was thinking like you could go to the different islands that housed the different races, the usual types. And recruit like people from there, and so eventually you'd have a crew that could help you like in battle. Like you get to an island that's like a fortress of monsters, and you summon your entire crew out of your boat to go and attack and raid an island. So that was I kind of got this idea just like playing Tears of the Kingdom and going out to like Eventide Island and doing like some of that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun to like make my own boat and get out there and like take out these pirates. I was like, they could totally do, like, I could see some serious potential as far as like a full game with this type of style. So yeah, and then my last idea, well, two last things really. I want them to move away a little bit from the traditional Zelda story, and so I would kind of want a completely new antagonist. I don't know what that would be like, but I kind of just don't want to see Ganon and Ganondorf for a game. I mean, essentially what I'd kind of want this to be is sort of like kind of how Majora's Mask was able to just like totally kind of deviate from the usual story. So I'm kind of hoping it would be similar to that, where it's not just Zelda and Link against Ganon again. I want some interesting things, and I think since this one would be Wind Waker inspired, it could really go off of that whole like let the past Hyrule die. Let these kids have a new future sort of motif, which I think was one of the strongest story things in all of Zelda. It was super cool. I really liked that. So I'm hoping that this game would kind of be an answer to that promise of like, there is no Hyrule here anymore. This is a completely new world with new threats and new challenges. So I really like that. And then my last point is, I know we talked about this before. I want playable Zelda in this, and I want her to be like a modern interpretation of either Tetra or Sheik, where she'll be like that for the game. Because again, like at the end of Wind Waker, it's not Zelda who comes to the surface; it's Tetra. And so I want Zelda to be her own person and just kind of go on a swashbuckling adventure with Link in this new ocean world. So it is kind of like a soft sequel to Wind Waker is my idea, but I do want it to be kind of its own identity and not just a sequel to Wind Waker.
Right. Yeah, I really like that idea. Interestingly enough, when I was kind of thinking about the Legend of Zelda series recently, I thought that something water related would be really good too. Especially just because some of the Tears of the Kingdom trailers made it look like there would be underwater exploration for a minute. Yeah. And there wasn't, which, no big deal. It was still awesome anyways, obviously. But yeah, it would have been really cool. And I got thinking about it. I don't know that a lot of games really explore like underwater exploration, especially to their full potential.
Yeah, definitely.
So it could be really cool to have like your, almost kind of like Tears of the Kingdom had like your depths and the surface. It could be cool to have like your surface be like the more Wind Waker style world with tons of islands and stuff, but also have like tons of underwater exploration built in, and
that was
have kind of some
idea.
Cool mechanics for that.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be the focus. Is you'd have your surface world, and then eventually you'd get the ability to like dive under, and there'd be monolithic like frightening ocean creatures and stuff. I mean, there's lots of potential for that. Like I'm trying to remember, Subnautica. Is a game that really taps into that like underwater, the dread of giant things underwater. So I feel like Zelda could really, do something with that.
Yeah, I think so. Yep, you just gotta get some nice feeling swimming controls.
Yeah, that's the tough part. No iron boots for this game for sure. We don't want that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think that's
something that kind of came to me just now is like, for the surface, you're on top of the water, and then you find islands to explore. I would say for like underwater, you do underwater stuff, but you'd find like pockets of air that would lead to like underground caves and stuff like that. So I like there'd be a lot of potential for exploration, and the thrill of just like finding stuff.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome, and it it doesn't even necessarily need to be like flooded Hyrule per se either. It could just be like a whole new world of its own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would want it to be just like a new world for, Link and Zelda to explore together.
Yeah, I love that idea. That's really cool. Cool.
Okay, you're up next. Let's fire them off. What's your next pitch?
Nice. Let's see, I got looks like Metroid is my next one.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, so I guess you've kind of got two components of Metroid. You've got the 2D Metroid and the 3D Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
I love 2D Metroid. It's one of the few series I know that is so similar in each game, yet still unique enough to retain its own identity. Like none of the Metroid games make the previous ones irrelevant in the series, even though each one's bring new things to the table and have new mechanics and stuff. So I think just the 2D Metroid formula is something that still has so much potential, and I don't think they really need to reinvent the wheel a ton. It hasn't really lost its savor yet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the one thing I do think is that they need to give us a new barrage of abilities. That's kind of my big thing. Because I remember the first time I played Super Metroid, I thought that was kind of like my first big Metroid game I played. And it was so cool, just the discovery of all of these just super unique abilities, like the grapple beam and like your X-ray vision and like all of the different guns and the screw attack and the space jump. And it was so cool, like getting all of those for the first time. But then as you play the other Metroid games in the series, you're like, oh, it's just kind of like the same abilities again and again and again and again, which they'll still in every game add at least like a couple new ones and stuff, but it's like where you have so many abilities in Super Metroid, for them to reuse those every single Metroid game, it doesn't really leave a whole lot of space for new abilities to even exist at all.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, if they make another Metroid game, they should just kind of go full reset with the abilities. Like maybe you can keep like the Morph Ball just because that's kind of essential, and then obviously have like, Samus shooting from her arm like she always does. But I'd say other than that, pull a reset, give us completely new abilities, and then also just make the bosses like Metroid Dread. Like, oh man, those bosses were incredible.
They're
like
really good.
I feel like they definitely only scratched the surface on that. Like just give us emphasis on bosses, give us a new world to explore, and just give us some new abilities, and I think you're set as far as 2D Metroid goes.
Yeah, not much to reinvent there. Yeah, like Metroid Dread was great, but I didn't get the feeling of like, where can they go from here? It feels like, there's so much potential here. Like some of these, it's hard because you're like, the latest one, it's so hard to think of what they do next. But yeah, for that, I agree. They definitely don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yep. And then as far as Metroid Prime goes, it is a little difficult because I haven't played Metroid Prime 2 or 3 yet. But yeah, Metroid Prime 1 was kind of the same thing, where it wasn't a where do they go from here. It was like, oh my gosh, I feel like we've just barely tapped in on this idea of like this isolated, puzzle-based first-person space exploration stuff. It's like with like environmental storytelling. Like there's so much you could do with that. So, more of that with Metroid Prime, obviously, for 4, I'd like to see that. But what I would like to see is for them to polish up the first-person shooter side of the game.
Yeah.
Because some people have called Metroid Prime a crappy first-person shooter, which I think is kind of a ridiculous comment, because it's an exploration puzzle game with first-person shooter elements.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, they are kind of mid, the first-person shooter elements. It would be cool to see like a Doom 2016 level of polish on the first-person shooter element, combined with the exploration of Metroid.
Yeah, I had a similar thought for sure when I was playing it, just like because I hadn't played a lot of first-person shooters, so my frame of reference was like Doom and then this, and I was just like, oh man, if we could have like Doom level fights with this level of exploration, that would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they just need to really work on polishing that up. And I tell you, the number one thing they could do that would make a huge difference is take away the auto lock mechanic. How you can like lock onto enemies and shoot at them.
Yep.
Maybe that's a spicy take, but like I feel like that takes away half the challenge of a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
You're no longer having to like aim at stuff. You just kind of like hold down ZL and just keep mashing that ZL button to lock onto different enemies and then just shoot them. that takes out a lot of the strategy. So just polish it up, make it tight, and make a lot more enemies coming from different directions. So you have to like prioritize and sit and turn around and add in some dodge abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
And
And
I feel like there's
I do think that if I'm remembering correctly, the original control scheme kind of added to that. So like now on the Switch it plays like, you know, any other first person shooter did, but I know it was a little clunkier originally, so it was kind of necessary for the time.
That's true.
But I mean, still, the point stands that if they could take that away, and now that we have that capability, for sure.
Yep. But yeah, so that covers Metroid, I think.
Cool. Yeah, I'm with you on all those for sure. Yeah, no notes. 10 out of 10 pitch. I'm with you.
Heck yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my next one is Kirby. This is another one, kind of like you said with that one. Kirby's future looks pretty clear right now with the new Forgotten Land. Kirby made an incredibly graceful leap to 3D, and now it just needs to keep going in that direction. So my pitch would be a sequel for Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and I would call it Kirby and the Forgotten Worlds. It would follow Kirby's return to the Forgotten Land dimension, and have Elfilin kind of instigate that. Like, he'll come back and he'll be like older and look a little bit more like Fecto Elfilis, like fully grown. And be like, Kirby, my planet is in trouble again. Please help me. And then you'd go back to the Forgotten Land. You'd spend like the first kind of world back in that area, and the conflict would be that like, because you know the Forgotten Land planet, obviously it's reminiscent of like a post-apocalyptic Earth. It stands to reason that the rest of the solar system would also be there. So it'd be like the rest of the solar system, well, not the rest of the solar system, but like space pirates from another planet have come to invade Elfilin's planet. And so you have to travel through space to different worlds that are kind of analogous to the different planets in our solar system. And kind of go to their different Forgotten Lands as well. So, because I want to stay in that world, because the kind of post-apocalyptic vibe of the Forgotten Land is one of the coolest parts of it. So I just want to take that concept and run with it, expand it out to an entire solar system of Forgotten Worlds. And so I just kind of had the idea of like the main villain is some like space pirates from another, from like Pluto, like the farthest world out. So you have to kind of work your way out to them and take them down. I would also I would want to sort of like Return to Dreamland, have additional 4-player co-op. Where you can be Bandana D, Meta Knight, or King Dedede, just like in Return to Dreamland. That's my favorite of the 2D games, so that's kind of where that desire comes from. And then my last idea for it is just to have maybe like racing segments when you're traveling between planets that kind of use the style similar to Kirby's Air Ride, and then have that kind of like tease a sequel, which would release shortly after. Everyone wants a Kirby's Air Ride sequel. I do. So it would be cool if they implemented just like a gameplay style similar to that, and be like, hey, you know how that was fun? Now we're making a sequel to Kirby Air Ride. So that was just kind of my like oddball idea that I just kind of tacked onto the end of it.
Nice. Well, I can only give your pitch a 9 out of 10 because you forgot the most important part. Kirby and the Forgotten Land 2 needs to have Mary Magaland.
That's true. I did think about that. Mary Magaland, the best addition to Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, must make a return. So, yeah, I agree. Can I get bumped up to a 10 now that I added that?
I'll bump you up. I'll bump you up. Yeah, they gotta come up with like some other biblical name pun for the name, like Like, I don't even know. Like, Noah Park.
Noah
or something. Noah's Park.
Judas Jamboree. There you go.
Yeah, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, I think especially the Forgotten Land has a lot of great world building potential too. Kind of like you were saying. Like, there's still so many questions about like what is this place?
Yeah.
Like, could definitely dive into that a lot more with a sequel. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious what direction it needs to move.
Yep,
so
definitely.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I guess now we'll move on to Animal Crossing, which is the next one that I had. And for Animal Crossing, I said, screw Animal Crossing, give us the superior life sim, Tomodachi Life 2 for the Switch.
Okay. Is that your whole pitch?
That I'm gonna talk about Tomodachi Life 2.
Okay, you've decided to pivot.
That's the direction I'm going. I was like, you know what?
Hey,
Look,
this podcast has twists and turns, ladies and gents. Yep. You never know what we're gonna hit you with.
That's true. Yeah, look, I like Animal Crossing. You know, it's fine, but like, I don't know where you go from Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Maybe people who know Animal Crossing better than I do could tell you otherwise, but I don't know. I'd say I'm a pretty passive Animal Crossing fan overall, so I don't know if I'm really have the profession, the expertise to say where that should go.
Okay.
But yeah, Tomodachi Life 2. Hear me out. This is kind of wacky, but here's my ideas.
Let's hear it.
First of all, the game needs to be first person.
Okay.
And you instead of being like in Tomodachi Life where you're kind of like this omnipotent god like looking over the island and you click on stuff, you actually are like one of the characters on the island and you walk around in first person.
Okay.
And it might be kind of unhinged and creepy, but I think it'll just add to the quirky vibe of Tomodachi Life.
Yeah, Tomodachi Life is already so
straight
weird.
up to me.
Yeah.
So
I feel like there would be a bit of a horror element to it for sure.
Yeah. And then you have just lots of kind of what Tomodachi Life already had, lots of interactive mini games and areas. You can have relationships with your Miis. They can say and do lots of quirky things. And then, of course, obviously, give us Miitopia's Mii editor with that extra level of nuance so that you can have, like, SpongeBob in there or whatever you want.
You really could make this a horror game if you wanted. You just make a bunch of terrifying-looking Miis and you have to interact with them in first person.
Yep. And then go crazy on dreams, add more customization to things like homes, keep the song editor obviously, as that's one of the best parts.
So true.
But then here's the groundbreaking part that it'll make it even more unhinged is use experimental AI for the Miis. In other words, the dialogue is completely open-ended. It uses like a minor form of ChatGPT where you can just like maybe there'll have to be like some sort of keyboard accessory you can get, but you can just like talk to the Miis and then they'll like respond with their text-to-speech voices and you can just like talk to them about anything. But you might think Nintendo wouldn't implement something like that into their game, but look at the text-to-speech in Tomodachi Life. That was pretty kind of newish technology around Tomodachi Life's inception too, and I can almost guarantee they didn't just build that text-to-speech from the ground up. I feel like they probably had to have recruited some algorithms from elsewhere. So I feel like they could do kind of a similar thing with Tomodachi Life, but give us like some mild ChatGPT level stuff, but you can still give Mii's like personalities and things, and yeah, it sounds pretty unhinged and creepy and goofy, but hey, I think that fits the vibe of Tomodachi Life, and I could see that. I doubt that will ever happen, but that would be really funny.
You gotta dream big.
Yep.
All right. I don't know exactly how I feel about that. It's definitely not my favorite pitch. I also don't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about incorporating AI into it, because I feel like that would suck a lot of the charm out of like character interactions. Like, I get it's fun because it can be like theoretically infinite, but I do think that the writers in Tomodachi Life were very clever and funny and weird, and I feel like that couldn't be exactly replicated if you kind of just used AI stuff. Plus, I want
Right.
writers in video games to keep their jobs. So I think I'm gonna
That's fair.
veto that in my opinion.
That's
But
fair.
I do get where you're coming from with that. And I honestly,
Yeah.
the idea you have, I would just like to play it for like a day, like, like even if it didn't get made,
Yeah.
like the idea is weird and funny enough that I definitely would want to play what you said. So honestly, that's kind of a sign of a good pitch. It was unique.
Yeah.
It made me go, man, I would want to play that, even if
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that to actually happen. I would want to play what you just said right now. So
Yeah. Yep. So there you go.
all right. Well, there's your stealth Tomodachi life pitch. Sorry, Animal Crossing fans.
Sorry, Animal Crossing fans.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Okay, yeah. So next up for me is Pokemon. So
yeah.
I'll give a little preface. I've been a big Pokemon fan for like my whole life. In fact, for a while, it was like my favorite thing in this entire world. So I do have a deep attachment to the series. That being said, I have not played either of the two newest ones. That being Scarlet and Violet and Legends Arceus. Because
Can I interrupt really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you ever play Sword and Shield?
I did, yeah. I was just about to say
Okay.
that. So I played Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and then I played Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I hated both of them. I didn't beat either of them because I got so bored that I literally gave up on both of them. I bought both of them and then independently gave up playing both of them. So I do have a lot of issues with current Pokemon. I've heard the two new ones are better, but they clearly both have a lot of problems as well, especially Scarlet and Violet, which shipped in like an unforgivably just watching gameplay of Scarlet and Violet, I'm like, I can't believe they released this like looking as it does. Like, it's kind of insane. So problem number one with Pokemon right now, the developers are not being given enough time to make these games. That just seems clear. Like, there seems to be a lot of promise, especially in Scarlet and Violet. Like, it seems like there was a lot of promise and a lot of good ideas going on there, but shipped in that state, I refuse to buy that. So that's number one, is we just need to start giving the Pokemon developers enough time, because it seems like they're very talented developers, but they're being crunched to meet deadlines, and there's a whole reasoning for that. It's a giant corporation that has to line up like anime, card game, video game releases all at the same time, and they're doing it basically yearly. So it's just not sustainable for making a good video game.
Insane.
I know, it is insane. It's kind of impressive, but it's also kind of horrifying. Yeah, so that's number one. So my idea that I've come up with is I think pursuing open world gameplay is a good fit for Pokemon. So they're on the right track. But my idea is, instead of doing kind of like the generic exploring this giant grassy like world, kind of like Zelda, which clearly these new Pokemon games were hugely inspired by the new Zeldas. I want them to pivot to a kind of futuristic cityscape open world type game instead of a like grassy natural world. Because I think, first of all, that would just be inherently interesting, and I think it fits with Pokemon. There's a lot of futuristic type stuff that's already been kind of played with. So for this new one, I want the game to have like a more gritty, relatively speaking, like it's not gonna be super gritty, but for Pokemon, a more gritty style. Kind of reminiscent of what they did for Mario Strikers Charged, where that game had kind of like a more edgy style for Mario, and it was really fun. So just make it like kid friendly, cool, you know, like
I can see that.
That's kind of, you know, obviously Pokemon is still going to be for kids, but yeah, give it a bit of an edge, you know, kids like that. I think that Scarlet and Violet had the right idea about how to do story, from what I've seen, kind of giving it like 3 different paths, so it's not just, you know, fight the gym leaders, do this, defeat the evil team, whatever. It seems like the story was one of the high points of Scarlet and Violet. So yeah, keep that strong. Seems like that worked out. And then for the new tone also, I want the starter trio to not be the usual types. I want it to be a different type triangle. And so just to kind of just to shake it up, to show that this is kind of a new, kind of more edgy, like this ain't your grandpa's Pokemon. This is like for the cool kids. So I want that, and I want the starters to not be given to you by like a professor, but to have them like abandoned like street animals that you and like 2 other rivals like stumble upon, and you're like, oh, let's adopt these, and I feel like that would be kind of a cool way to start the story. Then I want to bring back having like an edgy, mean rival. This is something that's been discussed about a lot, and I think it would be a good idea for, you know, this sort of setting, this kind of like cyberpunk Pokemon setting that I've started thinking up here. And then I want your rival and you to like bicker a lot, but secretly, like at the end of the day, you've got each other's back. And then like have a third rival who's kind of like the mediator of peace between you two, as they kind of like scheme in the background to beat you both, type of thing. And I just want your character to have more personality, because I think it would be really cool to have that rivalry relationship. But I think that only works if your character isn't just this empty, vacant stare the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to kind of have cutscenes where you and your rival kind of argue and like play off each other a little bit. So that's kind of what I want. When I thought of this, I was like, this might work better as like a spin-off Pokemon TV series instead of a game, but you know what? I want it, so there's my pitch.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, I like your pitch. I'm gonna have to kind of take your words at face value.
Yeah.
Because, to be honest, I've had a huge kind of falling out with Pokemon where, if I'm being 100% honest, I don't really have almost any interest at all in the series anymore.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe I need to go just replay some of the more popular ones, because to be fair, the last Pokemon game I played was the Let's Go Pikachu, and that was kind of what burned me on the series. But I like your idea. I think there's a lot of potential there, but it's...
I just think the 2 newest games clearly have a lot of potential from what I've seen. I just wanted to really run with it and be given the time it needs to fulfill that vision.
Cool. Nice.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
Yep.
Well, you're up. What's next?
Looks like Splatoon is our next one.
I know you said you had a good idea for this one, so let me hear it.
Yeah. Yep. So Splatoon 3, first of all, was awesome, except I don't know that it was different enough from Splatoon 2, and I think that most people would agree. Yep. I mean, it's still great, because I mean, Splatoon is kind of hard to mess up just because it's so much fun. I love Splatoon, but it's not different enough from 2, but I feel like what would fix the difference, and this might be kind of experimental, and I don't know if the Switch would be able to run this.
Okay.
But give us 100 player Splatoon matches.
Okay, yeah.
Like, can you imagine a 50 versus 50 turf war, for example? Like, imagine if you... And, obviously, a big part of Splatoon's ethos is how fast-paced it is.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to turn it into, like, other first-person shooters that are kind of, like, more about stealth and patience and stuff. Like, Splatoon's ethos is being really quick and upbeat. So, you kind of have to figure out like a fine balance of how big does the map have to be to compensate for 100 players, yet how big is too big. But I'm sure they could figure that out. But get a good sized map and just do a 100 player turf war. You could do 50 versus 50 or even 4 teams of 25, and I think that could be awesome. Honestly, I feel like that in of itself could be enough of a tweak to really make it feel new and fresh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you could implement that into all of the different modes. Like, for example, Clam Blitz, just make multiple baskets all over the place. For Rainmaker, make multiple Rainmakers. For the Tower Zone, multiple towers. Like, it's a pretty easy switch, but I feel like it's, put in some new maps, give us some new guns and weapons, have it on the next Switch if that happens, and yeah, just do 50 versus 50, or 4 teams of 25, or even 10 teams of 10 if you want to. I don't know. I feel like just the direction for Splatoon, I think it would be awesome, especially picturing like all of the supercharge attacks. Like I feel like that would be just sheer chaos, but that's what makes Splatoon good. Like just the thought of there being just like constant like splashes and like I don't know the name of any of the big attacks. I need to play the game again, but like the giant rays that are shooting and like the thunder clouds, and just I can just imagine 100 players and all of this stuff just going all out. And you could even maybe have a battle royale mode if you wanted to, where you go splat people. I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like just that in of itself has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And then for the story mode, oh man, Splatoon 3 story mode was incredible in my opinion. I would almost say, because I'm playing Kirby in the Forgotten Land right now and it's fresh on my mind, maybe this is spicy, I would almost say that Splatoon 3 story mode is as good as Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
Yeah,
comparatively.
I have yet to beat it, so I can't say my opinion on that, but I do like what I have played of it.
But yeah, I feel like keep it kind of the way it is, except for one major thing that I think they should switch up with the story mode is make the levels more the terrain that you're walking on more environmental. Because the Splatoon story mode right now, it's weird. You'll have like these really cool backdrops, but then it's just kind of like this abstract series of floating platforms kind of in the middle of all of it.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I think it'd be better if, like, you were actually in the worlds and in the levels, like, walking on the grounds of them, walking through buildings, instead of just being on kind of like these weird floating gray platform things in the middle of all of it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the good gameplay and atmosphere overall compensates for it, but I don't know. I think it's just generally better to have your terrain more grounded in the actual world instead of have like these weird floating challenges in the middle of just nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I don't know. It would definitely take a lot of tweaking to make this style of gameplay work for like 100 players. But I agree. I can see the vision, and I think they could pull it off. So I don't think it's impossible for that to be a possibility in the future.
Nice. Yep. So that's all I had for Splatoon.
Cool. Yeah, so. I like that. Okay, so my next one, second to last one, we're in the home stretch here. My next one is Punch-Out. I wanted to pick a couple of like quote unquote dead series here for the end, because I don't know, these are the ones where I'm like, how do we revive an old series that has a lot of potential, but that Nintendo has just kind of left on the wayside for a while. Punch-Out's one of my personal favorites because I love Punch-Out for the Wii, which was the latest one, and they have done nothing since. They added Little Mac to Smash, but that's as much as we've gotten since then. So I think Punch-Out is really cool, and the unique style of gameplay in the Wii one, there really isn't any need for an update to it. It's pretty great. So it'll follow the kind of the blueprint set out by Punch-Out for the Wii, and then just kind of expand upon it. I would name this new revival game Punch-Out World Tour.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, so the two major adjustments that would need to be made for updating it is, number one, they kind of need to scrap like all of the boxers that they've been using as reoccurring characters in the series.
Right.
Look, I like them. They're funny, but they are kind of entirely predicated on stereotypes. So it might be better to kind of move away from that. You know, like I like the idea of like a fighters from all over the world come to, you challenge fighters from all over the world. I don't think they should change that. And I think series like such as Street Fighter 6 kind of does that, where all the characters are from all over the world. They take fighting styles from different cultures and whatnot, but they don't seem like they're just entirely based on stereotypes. Like, they do feel like faithful depictions of a culture. So yeah, I think that's kind of the direction they should take for this new game. Kind of scrap the old rogues gallery and make some new characters from different areas of the world that are maybe a little more well researched to like fighting styles of that area, instead of just kind of doing it all on stereotypes. Yeah, because I just don't think that would fly as much today anyways, and I think it's just better. So it would be better to do it like that. Yeah. So,
nice.
Yeah. So that would be the first major change. The second major change I would add is like a hub area in Doc Lewis's gym, where you can just like walk around and choose which mode you want to do, and it would like fill up with the opponents that you beat that have like come to train with you to get stronger after you beat them. So it'd be like, oh, it's cool, like I'm overcoming all these people, and we're all in this together to get stronger. So it's just it would be kind of like, oh, cool, like we're I'm gaining all these kind of allies as I beat them, basically. And then, because I just feel like with these type of games, a hub like area makes so much difference. Take for example ARMS versus Splatoon. Like, I legitimately think like a large part of the reason why Splatoon works more than ARMS did, because ARMS did kind of feel like it was trying to be Splatoon in a way, is just having a hub area where you like are in the world, so it makes the world feel so much more fleshed out. Like, I think ARMS' world is so cool, but we never get to see it. It's all just in like concept art that you find and stuff. So and it's all the choosing of modes is through like a really boring menu. So I want them to do like a hub area for this revival. I think that would go a long way in making the world feel more whole and complete and well thought out. So then
I like that.
Yeah, so then the last thing is I would want you to, instead of having fighters from all over the world come to like this tournament, I would want Little Mac to travel the world, fighting all these different people, hence the World Tour subtitle. So that would be cool, because then you can just kind of have the arenas match the fighters as well, and kind of give some variation there. And then as far as just like gameplay goes, I really love in Punch Out for the Wii that like it's so crazy, because like you're just this guy who just punches, and you're going up against people with like magical powers and like crazy fighting styles. It's really amusing and fun. So I just want them to push that to the extreme, like just add these like ridiculously powerful people with like crazy powers that you're just taking down with your fists. Like, I feel like that just makes the underdog feeling of like a boxing story like even more heightened. And even like for like change up the style of gameplay for like crazy attacks. Like, one idea I had just floating in my head as an example was like, say someone had like wind powers and they like shot a bunch of projectiles at you. You could like switch the perspective so it became like a 2D platformer little thing for a second, where you like jump over the projectiles and then land a punch like as you like work your way into the opponent as they've blown you away, and you just like jump into them and then deck them in the face, and then get a rush on them, a rush of attacks on them, and then it kind of goes back to the normal style for a while. But it just feels like there's a lot of potential to expand on how Punch-Out for the Wii did it, and I love that game, so I just want more of it.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Yeah, I don't have a ton of feedback there. I still need to play Punch-Out for the Wii at some point. But yeah,
it really holds up, I must say.
Nice. Yeah, and I love Super Punch-Out for the SNES too. That's might be one of my favorite SNES games. It's just super tight, super fun.
Yep.
So
yeah, the gameplay really hasn't aged all that much. Like, it's solid. We just need more of it. Yeah,
for sure. Just please, no John Cena in our Punch-Out. No Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Nintendo gets these famous crossovers. I wouldn't imagine it, but it might be kind of funny.
Well, because I mean, the first Punch-Out was Mike Tyson Punch-Out.
That is true.
That's kind of what made the worry. I was like, please, I don't want this to just be like John Cena Punch-Out.
John Cena's
just be like a bunch of these celebrities. Like, well, unless of course I get to like beat up like, oh, what's his face, like the dumb guy that used to be really popular and do wrestling stuff, but then he like took a picture by some body or something.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
Oh, Logan Paul?
Logan Paul, yes.
Logan Paul's not the boxer. It's Jake Paul. It's his brother. Who is also bad,
okay.
But that would be funny. Yeah. I get what you're getting at.
I would like to beat up Jake Paul.
Okay, yeah.
If he's in that game.
Okay, yeah. Well, I can get on board with that.
Yeah. All right, cool. Guess we got two more in our lightning round.
Okay,
so
yeah, let's finish this
and
up.
of course, this looks like this will be a little bit of a longer episode, but obviously don't have to listen to the whole thing in one go. So
yeah, feel free to take breaks. Come back tomorrow.
Yep.
We're almost there.
Sure. Yep. All right, so the last one I have is the Mother series.
Okay, yeah.
And I was going to talk about Mother 4 a little bit. The legendary Mother 4, which if it did exist, it probably wouldn't come to the USA.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I highly doubt we'll ever see Mother 4, but we can dream, so let's hear it.
We can dream. The funny thing is, if it did happen, they'd probably just call it, like, Earthbound 2.
Yeah.
And then we'd have, like, a weird, like, Super Mario Bros. 2 situation all over again, where, like, we've got the numbers all mixed up in different regions and stuff.
True.
But,
all right.
But anyways, yeah, so for the Mother game, at first I was thinking that they should go for almost like a Link's Awakening remake like art style, and then I was like, nah. What I think would be cooler is if they just stuck with pixel art for this game.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo hasn't really gone back to pixel art a lot, unless they're doing kind of more gimmicky stuff like Mario Maker. But I think it'd be cool for them to go like fully fleshed out with this pixel art, like in the same way that some of your beautiful indies games like Celeste look. Like give us like tons of like advanced animations and stuff, and maybe we even have some more modern sounding music with it. But I think gameplay wise you really don't have to fix a lot, especially where it's been so long. Like keep the cool old battle system, especially I like kind of the roulette system where it kind of ticks down but you can get it to stop. Keep the music based attacks. I think that's really cool. Just give us a whole new ensemble of songs, maybe with some more complicated rhythms in there and stuff. Of course, give us a pretty good big size world to explore, make it really cool. Gameplay wise I think it is kind of self-explanatory what they need to do. I mean, it's been long enough since we've had a Mother game. They don't really need to reinvent the wheel with that a lot, I don't think. And then story-wise, I would like it to go hard.
Yeah.
I want a Mother 3 level story again. I want it to get like existential and political and stuff like Mother 3. I mean, Mother 3, it covered everything from like nihilism to neo-Nazis to death of a loved one to like the harm of consumer. Like that game went crazy. Like I want to see that again, especially I love it when media will go into kind of like political stuff that are things I haven't even considered before.
Yeah.
Like things, and obviously when I say political, I'm talking about in the sense of what the word political traditionally means. I don't want a mother game that's just like, and then Master Porky didn't wear a mask. Haha. Like not American politics. That's not what I'm talking about here. Just like,
yeah, like philosophy. Yeah, like philosophical.
Too.
Like, yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I get what you mean.
Yeah, so I'd like it to dive into, especially an area I hadn't even considered before, like, well, I guess if it's one I haven't considered before, I can't just name it off the top of my head.
It's kind of hard to come up with an example.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think there's a lot of good potential there, so that's kind of my idea for that.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, we would want, I believe his name is Shigesato Itoi. I hope I'm saying that right.
We need him back.
Yeah. I want to say that he's like specifically said that has like no plan to ever do it. But like he is kind of essential in getting that like vibe right. So hopefully,
especially kind of the quirky.
Yeah. So hopefully he'll change his mind and come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, also they are making like a Mother 4 fan game. I think they had to change the name. I think it's called Oddity now. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. I know they've like released a trailer and they're basically like, it's ready when it's ready. They are definitely not announcing a release date anytime soon, but yeah, there is something of that style coming out, eventually.
I guess to add one more point really quick too, if Nintendo were to do this, which I'll probably just go play that fan one since this is way over the moon, won't happen, but if they were to, I do feel like it'd probably just need to be kind of like a cold reset as far as like cast of characters go. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love the characters from the other one, but like it's gotta just be like a new story, new world, just like start fresh.
Yeah, I mean that's how the series was, like or Mother 2 doesn't really have too much of a connection to the Mother 3 other than Porky antagonist, but yeah, they are largely pretty self-contained and separate stories. So yeah, cool. There you go. Yeah, that would be a big dream of mine. I mean, both of us have said that Mother 3 is one of our favorite games, so I think that would be wonderful. But so we'll move on to my final one. It is F-Zero, so another one that we haven't seen in a long time. I think the key to resurrecting F-Zero is just to tap into the popularity of Captain Falcon as an individual. Like, people love Captain Falcon from Smash Bros. I love Captain Falcon from Smash Bros. Like, that's how I know him, and that's
people like ripped men. What can I say?
Yeah, I mean, he's just cool. He's inherently cool. His design is awesome. His moveset in Smash is awesome. His car is awesome. Like, people like Captain Falcon. So I obviously still think that racing should be the main draw, because, like, F-Zero racing is fun. It's really fast. It's cool. The courses are cool. The music is awesome. But I think that the key to, like, hooking an audience on this is going to be an extensive story that kind of explores like the character and world. I don't know that much about the F-Zero like world and characters. I know some of them, like some of the characters, but I mean, just looking at the background of like the courses, even from the original game or the Mario Kart F-Zero stages or the stages in Smash Bros. Like, it just seems like a cool world, and I want to know more about it. So I would hope that there would be like a pretty extensive story, and to kind of add on to that, I would want this story mode to have 2D brawler platforming action, like in between the races, where you kind of use Captain Falcon. Like, he's got a great moveset already from Smash Bros. That they basically made up for Smash Bros. It's time to just bring that into a game. So just make like cool 2D like brawler platforming action, interspersing the story and then leading into the races in the story mode. I just think that would be awesome.
Nice.
So I just think Captain Falcon is just too cool of a character to have him like in his car the whole game. Like, yeah, let's see him out there beating dudes up. Like, I think he's supposed to be like some sort of bounty hunter. Like, I don't know. I think they can make it work. Maybe I needed to do a little more research on F-Zero to see if like he would do that. But I mean, I'm just doing what I think would be cool, and that's what I think would be cool. So I want to see it.
Nice. Yeah, I love that idea. See, I've been really wondering where they should go with F-Zero, because I feel like part of the reason it kind of dissolved a little bit is because Mario Kart kind of sopped it up.
Yeah,
like that's
I know, it's kind of
Nintendo's
crazy.
big racing game now.
Yeah.
But I love your idea of making it single player, like campaign emphasized.
Yeah,
like,
no, I feel like
I think that really is the way you can make it like unique of itself.
Yep.
So I love that
it's
idea.
just like the character of Captain Falcon. Like he seems like he would have an interesting story. So
yeah,
I think that could be a good way to differentiate it from Mario Kart, as like why this is the racing game. You might want instead of that, and also just like the speed. Like I just wanted to go dummy mode with the speed, like just make it so fast. Like there's gonna be your other draw. Like Mario Kart's for kids. This is where you gotta like test your skills.
Oh yeah, I was thinking the same thing. If they make an F-Zero game, I would love to see it be unhinged on the difficulty.
Yeah,
like,
and I think
I want this to be Nintendo's hard game.
If I remember correctly, the last one that they made, which I believe was on the GameCube, was like ridiculously hard.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, they've all been really hard.
Yeah.
Like SNES one might be the hardest SNES game, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, there's my final proposal of my prepared ones. So yeah.
Nice. Well, cool. Yeah. So I guess now we are on to lightning round.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I guess I can give you yours first if you want.
Okay.
Actually, I guess you. Either way.
Let me give you yours first. There was only one that popped into my mind. I wanted to pick like a random obscure one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
Oh, and for
yeah.
Really quick for context for the audience. So this lightning round, we don't know what the other person is gonna tell us to talk about. They're just gonna. Adam's gonna pop me with a random series, and I'm gonna have to just come up with an idea for it on the fly, and that's same with me for him. So this isn't prepared beforehand.
Yep. Okay, so your series is Balloon Fight for the NES. What do you do with Balloon Fight in the modern day?
What do you do with Balloon Fight in the modern day? Probably. Dang, that really caught me off guard. I'm thinking. Okay. I'm constructing something in my brain.
It's all coming together. Okay, let's hear it.
It's all coming together.
Mm-hmm.
We go back to Woohoo Island from the Wii.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
It turns into like just it'll be like Kirby Big, or that's not what the game's actually called. Kirby Dream Buffet. Dream Buffet. We call that Kirby Big because that's what the game should be called.
True.
It's the world's only flawless game.
I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah, so anyways, and what I mean by that is make it like that in the sense that it's just kind of like a smaller game, like a $10 game that they just kind of put on eShop for people to go get.
Yeah.
And what it is it'll be like a multiplayer battle royale sort of game where you're on Woohoo Island and it's all about just like flying around trying to like mash into people and pop their balloons.
Okay, I do like that. That's
you'll
cool.
get some different attack abilities. Maybe there'll be some like different power ups. Like you get like a needle gun and you can be like pew, 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 try to shoot down people's balloons.
Okay, yeah.
And it'll be playing like heavy metal music the entire time, like Doom 2016 kind of music, as you're like flying around this and it'll be funny because like you'll have these colorful balloons and kind of the art style, like the characters will like have like cartoon eyes and just be like really cartoony looking, and you'll be on like Woohoo Island, but it'll be like as you're like flying around trying to like pop each other, and like the explosion noises on the balloons have gotta be it. Like that'll be the best part of the game. Like it'll be like anytime somebody pops, it'll be so satisfying to get people. Yeah. So
hey, you know what? Bethesda screwed up with Mick Gordon, so maybe he's looking for work, and Nintendo could grab him up.
Hey, yeah. So yeah, there we go. That's my
Okay.
balloon fight
Yeah,
idea
I
on the
like
fly,
that.
so.
That's better than like I was like, what would I say for that? And I couldn't. I just was very generic coming to my mind. So I like what you came up with a lot better than what I was thinking of. So I like that.
Nice. All right, let's see. For yours, it's gonna be. So when we were writing this script, originally the fifth game I was gonna talk about was not gonna be Mother. It was gonna be Star Fox.
Okay. Yeah.
But the thing I got realizing is, I don't think I'm a Star Fox fan, to be honest.
Okay.
I tried playing, like, obviously I've played the demo for Star Fox Zero, but I can't hold that one against the Star Fox community. I know that people don't like that one. But I've played the good ones. I've played the SNES, both the SNES ones. I've played a good amount of Star Fox 64, but I don't know, it just hasn't really clicked with me.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to play more of it, but so that's kind of why I erased that, because I was like, I don't know if I can really talk about how to boot it up where I don't really get it.
Yeah.
So yep, I'm gonna lightning round pass it to you.
Okay.
What do we do with Star Fox?
What do we do with Star Fox? Yeah. So I also haven't been like I like Star Fox fine. I've played a good amount of I played a decent amount of Star Fox 64. I like it. I like it fine. But that's like the only Star Fox game I've ever played much of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as someone not super super knowledgeable about Star Fox, my idea is I'm just gonna copy Cage. It's a battle royale again. Everything's a battle royale. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
Honestly, I kind of want. There was like the GameCube one, the GameCube Star Fox that people kind of remixed on.
Right.
I kind of want to go back there. I like the vibe of that one. I want a spiritual successor to that one. I don't even know what it's called. I've just seen.
I wasn't aware there was a GameCube.
Yeah.
That shows
how
much I know about.
There
Star
is.
Fox.
It's the one with Crystal. She's like an assist trophy in Smash Bros. Like the girl fox.
I think I've seen gameplay of it at some point.
Yeah, I want that because I know there's it's like a mix between like flight stuff and Fox on the ground. Again, I feel like it's just another one like Smash Bros. They gave these characters movesets for like being on the ground. Use them. Let's do kind of mix between like 3D exploration and aerial combat. I think an adventure story with these characters with a mix of both flight and just like 3D platforming and fighting. I think it could be good. And I know if I'm not mistaken, part of the reason why the one on the GameCube wasn't so great is because it was basically supposed to be a completely different game, but they kind of made them turn it into a Star Fox game. So if we're just going in with the expectation that it's Star Fox from the beginning, I think the concept is there. So I'm gonna pitch a spiritual successor to that one on the GameCube, which name I can't remember. So that there's our all the Star Fox fans are gonna be sad with us, but we'll see. Maybe they agree with me. Maybe I'm secretly a genius and they agree with me. So
hey, I think that sounds nice. I guess just to clarify for the Star Fox fans, if there's any out there, I think that the idea is there. I do like the idea conceptually of like flying a spaceship around, dodging stuff, shooting stuff. I think it's cool. I think what it comes down to is I just don't like the way that it controls.
Yeah.
Like I anytime that I beat a level, it doesn't feel like, wow, that was so satisfying how I dodged all those things and shot all those things. It feels like, wow, I kind of just BS'd my way through that and somehow got to the end. So
I can see that. I can see that feeling. But yeah, I want some new furry characters. I want Falco's brother, Dralco, who's a dragon bird thing. That's what I want. That's my dream.
Yeah, I want Fox's sister, Foxy McCloud.
Isn't that what Crystal is? Though I think she's like a love interest, maybe.
That's true.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Nice.
All right. Well, I think it's about time to wrap it up. We are going to finish with our bonus question. Whose turn is it? I forgot.
I'm gonna say it's your turn because I'm drawing a blank. As far as
it's my turn for a bonus question. My bonus question is: we'll keep it real simple and real brief since we're going way long on this one. If you were to pick the next color of Joy-Cons for the new Switch, what colors would you choose?
Oh, obvious choice, gold. I love gold. I see it. I like it. I want. Never mind. I'm not gonna do that bit.
Okay.
Gold.
He wants gold. Okay, that would be cool.
I want gold.
I think that would be cool. For mine, I'm gonna go with like a sleek kind of silver and blue. Like one of them's kind of like a sleek silver and one of them's like a cool blue.
Nice.
There we go.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's our Joy-Con ones.
Actually, bonus question.
Okay, bonus question.
What is the best cereal?
What is the best cereal? Okay, yeah. We're straying away from gaming. I'm gonna go with Captain Crunch. I'm a Captain Crunch man myself.
Crunch.
Yeah.
Nice. I think it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh man, that's generic, man. Like everyone gets that.
Cap'n Crunch tastes like you crunching on a cap'n, and not in a good way. So
oh dear.
That's all I have to say about that one.
Okay, I think I've been absolutely destroyed in the free marketplace of ideas today, folks. I don't even know what to say to that. So I guess we gotta call it here. Hey, thank you for listening. This was a really fun one. We've been excited about this idea since the podcast inception. So I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it turned out really good. And obviously, please let us know what you think the future of these series should be. And if there's any series we didn't mention, what your ideas are for those. It's always fun to just discuss about this stuff.
We do have an email set up now if you want to give us any feedback or questions or requests to talk about stuff. We are basically wizards13@gmail.com.
Yep, hit us up. Okay, yep. So thank you so much for listening. We will sign off, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right, see you next time. Bye-bye.